a little bit about this election process that I'm sure the whole world has been watching, and mainly the fact that the presidency really hasn't been decided yet as of now, although um, the most of the news networks are now um, reporting that Joe Biden is the new winner of the presidency. Although far from it, um, several states have actually committed to recounting the votes. Um, there are going to be some lawsuits, and it is my gut feeling. Now, I've said this many times on my show that I am not a prophet, nor am I a son of a prophet, and so it's just me putting the pieces together. Uh, I don't think there's anything in the Bible that says who's going to be president. Um, so I'm just going to give you my opinion, and but it is my gut feeling that Trump will be the next president. Just my gut feeling. I'm probably 100% wrong. I've been wrong many times in the past, but I'll tell you why. Because prophetically, in the line of prophecy, in the line or in the light of prophetic events, I believe that he fits the puzzle piece a little bit better. Having said that, they both really fit the puzzle piece. Biden and Trump both have sworn loyalty to the Catholic Church, which I believe is a key component in this whole thing. Trump seems to have the evangelical vote um, locked down a little tighter than Biden. In fact, there has been many that have prophesied, in quotation marks, air quotes here, of they prophesied that Trump will be the next president. Now, I don't put a whole lot of weight in those, and I'm certainly not here trying to say that I'm prophesying. That is not the case here whatsoever. I hope I made myself perfectly clear with that. But we know from prophecy that the beast power will gain control through, or excuse me, the woman in Bible prophecy, chapter 14 of Revelation, chapter 17 of Revelation, um, gains control by using the beast power. She's the woman who rides the beast. The woman being the church, the beast being its uh, militant power that enforces the decrees and the doctrines. Now, while all of the Russia investigation, the all the scandals, all the so-called media hype and hate towards Trump have been frontline news, there's been some things happening in the background that many people aren't aware of. Namely, several encyclicals that the Pope has introduced, Laudato Si being one of them, and really regarding climate change and how that would affect the world. Now, we know Joe Biden, with his partnership with Pelosi and AOC and many of the other Democrat senators and the House of Representatives, have hatched a plan to completely do away with fossil fuels. They're going to clean this environment up. And, with the advent of COVID and all of its related, you know, I don't know, circumstances, the environment in certain places is notably cleaner. Now, this is key because Laudato Si brings out that we need to bring a rest to the climate. We need to give climate a rest to allow it to heal, to let Mother Nature heal. And so, with the subsequent lockdowns of the COVID-19, it is observable in many areas of the world that there's less smog. The rivers are apparently cleaning up, reportedly. That's what they're saying. And the skies are bluer, and the air is easier to breathe. And I have no doubt, it's common sense. I've been to LA a few times, and I've seen the smog as you're coming over the pass down into the valley. And it's no doubt that if you took all those automobiles and you quit driving them for, a few weeks, they're most certainly would clean up. And so this is the idea that we're going to shut down the environment. It's interesting the particular day that they've chosen to do it. In the encyclical Laudato Si, he points out that once a week uh, would be advantageous, obviously on a Sunday when most Christians rest, anyways. And this would be imposed upon the whole world. Now, places like Lima, Peru, I've been told, are already practicing these things. That needs to be fact checked. I've just heard it from several different sources, and how accurate those sources are, because I don't live in Lima. But that they're already have begun this Sunday lockdown, and anybody caught outside during the lockdown hours are subject to prosecution. But be it as it may, so to go back to the presidency, Biden really is in more alignment in that respect than President Trump. I mean, he's very open to climate change and all that it entails, and to save the world through this climate and through this climate deal. And AOC's Green New Deal kind of aligns itself with Laudato Si as well. I don't know if it has anything to do with the actual Sunday, but so very interesting stuff. Now, as far as Trump is concerned, he has the evangelical vote, the majority. Now, it was reported that less Catholics voted for him this time, although it's a disputable fact because many Catholics have come out now and said that those polls were actually incorrect, and it's not hard to believe that polls could be slighted with everything that we see as far as the pollsters go, because they got it so wrong in both of the elections so far. And but my question is, what would cause the greatest amount of chaos in this country? See, if Biden takes the presidency, no chaos ensues, pretty much. I think the right would eventually concede. I think that things would go back to normal, as far as normal would go. If they take the Senate, there's going to be big trouble. And as far as that goes, the stock market's already fluctuating. Harbingers of bad things are already on their way. But what extent that happens, nobody can really say until we see the results of it all. But again, the question is, what would cause the most chaos? I believe that the current state of the situation that we're in right now, with all of these lawsuits, and of course the Democrat Party is being told that the presidency has already been taken by Joe Biden, which is pretty much, that's a done deal for them in their minds. So then the question is also being posed, what if Trump doesn't concede to step down from the White House? And this is how it's being posed. But if in fact these lawsuits do go through, and it shows that there was voter fraud, it shows that there was some shenanigans, is that a word, that's been going on with the counting of the ballots. And I think they've already proven that there was. I think they have a good case. And as far as certain laws in Pennsylvania and Georgia, they violated their own laws. I mean, voting was supposed to end at the end of Election Day, and the counting of the polls and so on and so forth. But, that's another story. But so what happens if 2 months goes by and the Democrats believe that they have the presidency, only to be woken up one day to realize that President Trump is in fact the president of the United States and is the one being inaugurated into office for 4 more years? What then? Well, I think there's going to be utter chaos, and I think if that happens, um, the very thing that Antifa had feared the most, Antifa itself will bring to bear because of its political affiliations and its root core of the organization, and BLM as well, because both of them are sworn Marxists, and the way this works is they create chaos in the cities. The police force, as we've seen in certain parts of the country, have already been federalized by Trump. It's not a big step that he would just bring in the National Guard to bring peace into these cities, because a lot of these Democrat mayors will allow it to happen, seemingly in on the whole thing. And at the end of the day, peace is restored, but at what cost? At federalizing all of our police, at bringing in the National Guard, and now the policing has switched from state control to federal control in these certain areas. And that, in my opinion, is one step closer to fascism and central control of the government. And so the very things they say they're afraid of is the very thing they're bringing in. And this is what a lot of people don't seem to understand. And the people that are involved in this, the participants in these riots, they are the useful idiots that will historically be done away with, apart from their ideals of change and bringing upon this perfect world, so on and so forth. But the Bible talks about a time of peace, so maybe this time of peace comes directly after the federalization of all of the police forces and the bringing in of the National Guard. So then short time of peace, and then it says peace, peace, and then comes sudden destruction. So then what? There'll be a time of trouble such as never was, no, not since the beginning of time. So says the Bible. It's the only thing I can believe in anymore. Certainly can't believe the media and what they've been saying in this game of cat and mouse. I don't know. Are these Trump and Biden good fellows at the end of the day? It makes you wonder. With all the, there's no proof of that, but that's just my head thinking, because of the way these politics are. They keep everybody guessing, and nobody can really seem to see what's what. And the left is divided and the right from the right, and the right's divided from the left, and the two shall never meet unless there's an event which consolidates the both of them. And that's the event that we're waiting to see, because in the Bible it says the whole world wondered after the beast. And remember, the beast is the nation, the woman is the church. The woman's behind it all. She's riding the beast, but at some point that's even going to break down as well. So anyways, stay tuned. More to come. Appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And one last thing I wanted to bring up was the fact that the closing down of the churches. Now, up here in Montana, just our neighbor is Idaho, and in Moscow, Idaho, they've actually had instances where people have been arrested for being a house of worshiping. They've been even worshiping outdoors with 6-foot distancing, and they've got the cops all lined up, just waiting to arrest anybody who violates the directives that the the mayor of Moscow has put forth. Interesting. The supporters of the police tend to be the right wing of the republic, and they are the ones that seem to be suffering the most under the hand of these types of leaderships as well. But now, if Trump makes the presidency, it's likely that he is going to open up these churches forcibly if necessary, and even push laws through Congress, perhaps even some stronger Sunday laws, or even resurrecting some of the old blue laws. Any of you out there don't know what those are, you need to look them up. Just type in blue law under Google, and it will quickly direct you to what I'm talking about. So if President Trump gets the presidency, he can pass a Sunday law through the grievances of the evangelicals, and concede to their wishes, which would guarantee their right to worship, which I believe the First Amendment does anyways, but neither here nor there. If Biden gets the presidency, he will push the Sunday law through with this climate change referendum, and no doubt partner with the papacy, with the Laudato Si. Either way, it's I feel like it's going to happen. So this is Prophecy Montana, and please tune in for some future episodes. Thank you very much for watching.